Ever been en route and need to say a specific prayer, etc., but you don't have the text in front of you? Hi, my name is Nisa Harris, creator and host of the podcast shomeah V'oneh Tehillim and other Hebrew texts. The shomeah V'oneh podcast is for anyone that wants to be able to hear the words of a text clearly and have time to respond in order for their kavanah or intention to be sincere, even though they don't have the words in front of them. This is useful for people who may be hard of seeing, those who want to hear how Hebrew is enunciated in a text of prayer, etc., those who want the ability to recite a text and fulfill their religious requirement, or just because you want to listen to my voice. I just want to explain how this podcast came into existence. This is my first podcast, and I am not a techie kind of person, so please bear with me as I navigate through and I'm figuring that out. I also am not a regular reader of the Hebrew language, but I do have a fair handle on it, thank God, and I will be doing my best to pronounce every word carefully and correctly, so please bear with any quick correction you might hear during a recording until I learn how to possibly edit them out. To be honest, I was never a big Tehillim person, quote unquote, not really able to connect on a personal level to reciting Tehillim on a daily basis, but when my father, Harav Shmuel Chaim Halevi ben Esther, was diagnosed with cancer a few months ago, people started asking me to be part of completing the Sefer Tehillim in a day during certain precarious times, and I saw many miracles following that were just undeniable. It felt like people were coming out of the woodwork in support and coming together to pray on my father's behalf, and it's been really inspirational. And that feeling of communal prayer having an effect is what's driving my passion now to help others complete saying different prayers and texts on the go. I'll never forget how my cousin, shout out to Alana Abelo, who, by the way, happens to be amazing at doing anything chesed. If anyone ever wanted to hire her for something, I actually don't even know if she's available, but if she is, anyway, I digress. She sent out a list for the Sefer Tehillim to be completed in a day in honor so that my father and my aunt, her mother, Devorah Bat Nisa Ethel, should have a refuah and recovery. And relatives and friends signed up right away, and I took what was remaining. And I realized I committed to something that I didn't even know if I had time for, but I knew I had to do it. My father's chemo had side effects on his heart, and they were not resolving, and he was about to go for a risky procedure in a few hours. I did as much as I could by physical text before I had to rush to leave to my daughter's siyum. And before driving, I tried to find a recording of Tehillim for me to be able to say it along with. I found something that a chazan going through the words quickly was saying, and I tried my best to have kavanah while trying to repeat the words I thought I heard, hoping it would, do the trick, so to speak. And thankfully, we got the message that an hour before my father was about to have that procedure on his heart, miraculously, his heart issue resolved, and the procedure was called off. So whether you want to believe that it had to do with the communal prayer is not what I'm here to discuss. For me, this was just one of the many instances that solidified it. But it kept gnawing at me that there must be others who feel the need to say something on the go and want to have a venue for better kavanah. And so, shomeah V'oneh was born. Please stay tuned until after this quick break. A quick explanation of my choice in podcast name. There's a phrase in Judaism called shomeah ke'oneh. The one who hears is equivalent to the one who recites. This principle enables a person to fulfill their obligation of textual recitation by listening to another person recite the text, while both of them have in mind to effect such a fulfillment. We see this is in the case of blowing shofar or hearing the Megillah, etc. So while my recording of the text cannot count as you fulfilling your obligation and reciting the text, your V'oneh, your response to when I leave the pauses for you to fill in, can help you to say the text and fulfill your obligation. Be'ezrat Hashem, I hope to do this for things like Nishmat Kol Chai, Tehillim, all of Sefer Tehillim, Brachot for food, Asher Yatzar, Megillat Esther, Davening, Aneni, and others. And I welcome your suggestions and your feedback. You can email me at nursenisa1@gmail.com. That's NURSENISA1@gmail.com. I just want to go over some housekeeping rules so you kind of know where I'm going with this podcast. When I record, I am aiming to say and pronounce the words as carefully as possible so that you can hear me clearly, and it is intentionally slow. Please feel free to speed up your own device if this is more bearable for you. But otherwise, I will be saying between 1 to 5 words at a time, giving pause enough for you to insert the words there responsively. In each episode, I will say what I'm about to recite, and then I'll dive straight in. And any comments I might have, I'll leave to the end of the episode. I will be doing one recitation per episode so that it'll be easier to search for on your end. And if you are new to podcasts, as am I, you can subscribe and be notified every time a new episode comes in. In terms of Kol Isha, the woman's voice, I am a woman and will primarily be talking out the text. But if there was a case where I would be doing a trup musically, I will indicate the words Kol Isha on the label of the episode so that you can avoid it if necessary. I would like to figure out a way to get a male version in the future for such things as well, but we all will have to be patient as this is brand new to all of us. In terms of my accent, I do not speak in an Israeli Hebrew accent, and I do pronounce my tufs and not suffs, just as an FYI. If in general you can be patient with me, I hope that you will have a trove of resources to pull up and recite responsively too by the end of this podcast, or the never-ending podcast. I hope that in the future I might be able to do translations or commentary or interviews on the things brought in if all goes well. Please subscribe so I know that this is something that is beneficial to you, as this is a labor of love and it does take a lot of time to dedicate to. Please share it so that we can help more people pray or say things that maybe they are wanting to but give up because it's not convenient. I am trying to take that excuse away. And if you would like to be a sponsor of an episode in memory of someone or for a fuah or shidduch or baby, etc., then please email me at nursenisa1@gmail.com to arrange that. Again, that's NURSENISA1@gmail.com. Just a quick edit after I've already done about 9 episodes. I realized that I didn't mention that after each responsive recitation, I do give a summary of each mismor or tefillah and what I have come to glean from it after a very thorough learning on my part from lots of different sources. And in this podcast, I am kind of taking you with me on my journey to see how I can better connect to these texts and prayers that I know are so crucial in our tradition and have struggled with connecting to. So I'm taking the time to learn it, and I'm bringing you along. I'm really grateful to have had a wonderful Judaic education, and career-wise, I'm a nurse and I'm a life coach, and I was actually considering becoming a Chumash teacher if I wasn't going to go that way, so I guess this is fulfilling that itch. Although I feel like I'm coming at these texts with fresh, naive eyes, despite familiarity with them, I feel the need to reassure you that Baruch Hashem, I do have the ear of my rabbi husband and my rabbi father to make sure that I am on the right track. I would love to hear your feedback either in the email mentioned above, or you can join the new shomeah V'oneh Facebook group where you can be notified of outcoming episodes. May this endeavor serve to help for a continued refuah shalema for my family members and all those who are in need. And thank you for listening to the shomeah V'oneh podcast. Hope to see you next time.